Hello and welcome to a Let's Play of No One Lives Forever. It's a first-person shooter and agent adventure. A very good one. She is our main character. A few words about the recording. I'm trying to unmute the new thing this time. Hopefully the effects won't be too noticeable. But I'm mentioning it because there are certain differences and I might not be able to get rid of them. I'm basically recording directly from the graphics card. And the benefit, as far as this game is concerned, is that I can get rid of a lot of flickering issues, that sort of thing. So that's why I'm doing it. The negative thing is this is a shit recording program. There's no real audio control or any kind of quality systems right there, and there's a file size limit that once you reach, basically the recording just shuts down. What it means it's 10 to 20 minutes, I think with a game like this, about 20 minutes, maybe even a bit more, of recording, and then it just cuts off. But there's no indication of really when we're gonna reach that. So I'm going to have to go into something I never thought I'd have to go back to, having to watch time on a clock to know when to pace the recording on and off. I thought this was a thing of the past, and I certainly don't want to do it. Maybe I can later on. I'll test it after just playing a single mission through. Can compile the different parts as a single, fairly seamless video. We'll see. I'm not sure if it'll show up in the actual Let's Play, but just a heads up. If something, I have to pause things at a time, go to an option or something like that. That's probably the reason why. Just so I can stop the recording and restart it, so it starts recording into a new file. It's a shitty system, but it allows me to record like this. Basically, if I would record with a proper program, all this green here at the moment and probably some of the options would be flickering. And there are ways to get around that, but they usually require quite a bit of work, if you can even do it. So this is a good alternative when your typical ways of recording don't work. But enough of that. Let's get to the game. Single player game. Normal difficulty, and the assignment is basically a tutorial and a start to introduction to what's going on in the game. So that's what I've played so far, and I'll replay it now.
A crisis has arisen. Unity's undercover operatives are being killed off by an unknown assailant. It seems likely that there's a traitor within the agency. Report to the war room for a full briefing on the situation and a tactical overview of your upcoming mission. Do not be late. Following the briefing, stop by the training facility to hone your skills.
I think I can skip the training, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem. I did play it once. There are some oddities with the system, and even some controls you can't remap, so it's an odd system. Mostly plays like a typical modern FPS though, so it's more of a, you have to get used to a few oddities. We should report to the briefing room, report to Santa's workshop for gadget training. So those are the only two things we have to do. It should start with a cutscenes of what's going on in the world.
Hello. Bruno, how's France? Did you collect any new bullet holes? I know how you love to be shot at. I'm teasing. I'm glad you're not damaged. Did you at least encounter an exotic temptress or two? Really? What was her name? What do you mean you don't remember? That's horrible. Of course, I'm famished. Are you buying? Then it's a date. Let's say Maximilian's in half an hour. Ciao. I'm not very happy, you know. It's not like I thought it would be.
I never promised it would be as exhilarating as your former trade. Only that it would keep you out of jail and make it easier to sleep at night.
More wine?
You're the first female operative Unity has ever employed. The committee is old-fashioned. They need time to get used to the idea of a woman in this line of work.
I know all that. But at this rate, I'll be a bloody grandmother before they give me a real assignment.
You can always go back to burglary and pickpocketing if you can't live without excitement.
Damn it, that's not what I'm saying. I just want to be challenged. I'm sick of wiretaps. I'm sick of eavesdropping on boring strangers who may or may not pose some trivial threat to international security because they forgot to declare a ham sandwich in Heathrow. I don't have the patience for it. It's not what I'm good at.
It's never fun paying one's dues, but we all have to endure a bit of frustration and tedium now and then. Builds character.
I think I've paid my bloody dues.
Is that what you think? God knows I loathe sermons, but I'll tell you right now that you'll never stop paying your dues. Not ever. I'm sorry you're not happy, but you might as well get used to it. Nobody owes you a damn thing.
You make it sound like I'm some spoiled child. I'm not asking to be coddled. I just want a chance to prove myself.
You're right. I know it's been hard for you, but I'm confident you'll get your chance. All the petty politics in the world won't hold you back.
They've done an outstanding job so far, haven't they?
You see? What did I tell you?
Probably just one of the committee members needing a babysitter on short notice.
Ye of little faith. I'll see you there.
Why don't we go together?
I've an errand to attend to first. You go on ahead.
Finally in the game.
Good afternoon, Miss Archer. They're expecting you in the briefing room. Wrong way, Miss Archer.
It's a very nice, pleasant accent. Someone's sleeping. I guess we could go straight to the briefing room.
Agent Archer, how thoughtful of you to join us. I hope we aren't inconveniencing you too awfully with matters of international security.
Not at all, Mr. Smith, but it's charming of you to mention it.
It is not my ambition to be charming.
Well, that's fortunate.
I would advise you to watch your tongue. Well, if it isn't the inimitable Agent Lowry.
Sorry I'm late, Smithy. You're looking dapper today.
Spare me the disingenuous flattery, old boy. It doesn't suit you.
I was being sincere. It was the one polite thing I could think to say.
You're still upset with me, aren't you? I assure you I have nothing against you personally. You've served us well for many years, but perhaps too many. I firmly believe it is in Unity's best interest that you retire from field operations, and I will continue to campaign to that end until you accept an administrative position.
I'm not upset with you, Smithy. I just don't like you. I do understand your concern, but just because you're too old for the field doesn't mean that I am. Until I'm declared unfit for duty, I will continue to prove it.
I retired voluntarily.
Of course you did.
Perhaps we should dispense with the pleasantries and get down to brass tacks.
Fine.
Lights, please. We lost another agent this afternoon, bringing the total to 7 operatives in 10 days. It is our firm belief that someone is systematically eliminating our undercover agents, which leads us to believe that the clandestine operations section has been compromised. It seems we have a traitor in our midst.
Do you suspect anyone?
We suspect everyone.
7 operatives. That's over half the active list. Why weren't we informed sooner?
You're being informed now. This situation has unfolded rather abruptly.
The assassin left a lily, a regal finale, to be precise, on or near the corpse of each victim. Mean anything to either of you?
Volkov.
Who?
Dmitri Volkov. The regal finale is his calling card.
The name's familiar. What do we know about him?
He's a right bastard.
Anything more specific?
Just what's in his file. Born in Kamchatka in 1921. Distinguished himself as an academic prodigy and master chess player by the age of 8, by which time he'd also earned notoriety for refining various torture techniques on neighbors' pets. It seems he joined the NKVD in 1937 and served as some sort of disciplinarian in a gulag near Kiev. His whereabouts during the war are unknown except for a brief mention in 1943, when he was spotted by an OSS officer at Leningrad interrogating prisoners of war who would later disappear without a trace.
Ah, yes, I remember this fellow. We've had dealings with him before.
Sometime after the war, he emerged again, this time in the employ of Smersh. He's personally credited with well over 1,000 executions, spies and Soviet dissidents for the most part. In 1961, a failed assassination attempt left him without an eye. He was shot in the face at close range by one of our finest agents.
You flatter me, but I shouldn't have missed.
He escaped by throwing himself off a 70-foot cliff into an icy river. It was presumed that he survived, as no body was ever recovered. In fact, rumor has it, he's currently working for an organization calling itself HARM, as Director of Executive Action. I don't have to tell you what that means.
What do we know about HARM?
Unfortunately, there's very little about them in our files.
Well, despite the obvious risks, we still have a job to do. In this case, a very important one.
Wet work.
Precisely. And after this recent catastrophe, the two of you are our only available assets.
To be perfectly frank, Agent Archer, you're only getting this assignment because we've no other choice. Matters of such delicacy aren't really the sort of thing we would usually entrust to a woman. Emotional inconstancy and assassination do not make especially good bedfellows, if you take my meaning.
I'll try to surpass your expectations.
Considering that I expect you to fail miserably, you shouldn't have to try very hard.
Enough of this. Time is of the essence. Stop by the toy shop before you go. They've some new gizmos you might find useful. Don't dally too long, though. Your flight leaves at 6 p.m.
Where are we going?
Morocco. Agent Archer, what does HARM stand for?
I haven't figured that out yet.
See if you can't find out. And be careful. Both of you.
Okay, we do need to go the briefing. Go to the basic training area. I will bypass that very quickly. We do have to report there, the gadget training specifically. I think it already tells you that you can bypass the sections without actually doing them. Let's try this. Okay. Just recording pause.
We strongly advise that you go through the training course before embarking on your first mission. There are many nuances and features you may overlook
beautiful
otherwise.
tanks right there.
If you prefer to skip training, just head to the exit.
Okay, we're not gonna do the training. It'll, well, probably there was no point in really doing the recording pause then there either. There are a few notable things. Flashlight with the light beam causing people notice it. The surface where you walk on determines how much noise you make. Bodies left to be spotted cause alarm, things like that. I can't carry bodies because I'm a frail woman, but there is an item that allows me to destroy bodies. But it basically, I think it's more of a game mechanic thing. So you have to think about where you take out people, and there's a limited amount of items that allows you to remove bodies from clearly visible locations. So that's what I think it is. It's meant to give you more of an interesting choice or a difficult decision where you want to take out people, how you want to take out people, but still provide a limited number of occasions where you can basically just kill a guy and get rid of the body. Also lockpicking, different type of ammunition for different type of weapons, that sort of thing. And a few sort of helpful tips on how to get through the game, but nothing that really needs to be gone through now.
If you want to skip training, I won't stop you, but don't expect any sympathy from me if you run into trouble out there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And mission complete. One objective not completed, and rank victim. Time about 16 minutes. 1 out of 16 intelligence items gathered. The rank Masters by best rank is from my first playthrough, where I played through the tutorials, pick up the items and so forth. So it seems like the rank is a combination of time and intelligence data. It could be just the intelligence data and then just the guy with the best time. I don't know, doesn't matter. But yeah, we're ready to move on to new things. This is more of a interesting for me is that there is a mission summary, because this is allows good control of the videos, and since I have to do manual control of them anyway, this is much appreciated by me, and it's a good place to test how well I can combine these. So I don't want to have I want a single recording to at least have the mission from start to finish, instead of having to pause it at random positions because of the recording limitation. But we'll see how it works. If I don't encounter too big of a problem, we'll just keep on going.